Hello. Traffic's terrible, so I'm going to talk to myself while I'm driving, and you get to be the fly on the wall and overhear my conversation with myself. Freeman did a video, something like LDS bishop, lieutenant, police lieutenant, and pimp. It starts off as a complete non sequitur. Johnny 5-0 was trespassed from a police station in Utah. Very unsurprising. Adderley v. Florida, the state can maintain the property to its lawfully intended purpose. The police station is there to conduct police business. Your business is irrelevant. The police station is there to conduct police business with the public. You may have business with the police department, but that business with the police department has to be the police's business. You can't say, oh yeah, I'm here to conduct business with the police department. I'm here to set up a candy stall in the lobby, hoping to sell candy to police officers. That's not the police station's business. It's there to conduct police business, not to allow you to conduct any business you want to with the police. So yes, he can trespass under Adderley v. Florida, even if you think that you have a constitutional right to be there. All they have to do is have a reasonable restriction enforced evenly, and that's really it. Content neutral, viewpoint neutral, that's what it is. Viewpoint neutral. Viewpoint neutral and reasonable, and evenly enforced. So, assuming they did, they're all good. If they didn't, well, then maybe Johnny 5-0 can try to raise a constitutional challenge, but he's not in it. He's not in it so you can film in police stations. He's in it so he can make money to buy his drugs, and he's a snitch. So what are you gonna do? So later, James Freeman, saying out with Johnny 5-0, they go to City Hall, some City Hall in a different fucking city in the same state. So it's connected because it's the same state, guys, same state. So we're gonna look at these as part of a pattern. And Johnny and Freeman were trespassed from City Hall because, again, City Hall is in place to conduct City Hall's business. If you are not there to conduct City Hall's business with City Hall, then they can trespass you. Again, as long as whatever they're trespassing you for is reasonable, viewpoint neutral, and it's not arbitrary. So then, out of the kindness of his heart, in a place where he can control, so you're not doing a Granite State and filming a domestic violence victim coming in, trying to give a report on domestic violence. In a controlled setting, the chief or whatever of the initial police department gave Freeman an interview. Of course, Freeman is not an honest operator, so he's not going to, number one, construct his questions fairly. He's going to add in a lot of insinuations and accusations before he asks his question. So I hear you're a terrible person and you rape dogs. How long have you been a police officer? It's not good. It's not good journalism. It's not fair to the person being interviewed. And then to top it all off, we don't get to see the complete interview because James Freeman can't show you anything that undermines James Freeman's position. Even though the world undermines his position, he can't show everything to you. So he's interviewing this guy, and he asks this guy about human trafficking, this chief. I hear there's a big issue. I hear there's a big problem in this area with human trafficking. And the officer says, the chief says, well, there's a few, there's a handful of incidents over the last few years, but it's not a huge issue. I mean, it's pretty rare. We learn what we can from informants and from our own operatives and things like that, but it's not, we're not aware of a huge issue. We're not aware of a major issue. There's nothing, a few incidences. I mean, that's kind of a matter of opinion. How many is major? How many is a huge issue? And we're talking human trafficking. That's something, right? Human trafficking. And the officer says, the chief gives a rationale for his not thinking it's huge. He's thinking of third world countries where people are, buying and selling kids kind of willy-nilly for sex. So that's the officer's perspective. He doesn't think it's a big issue compared to something like that. Okay. So then Freeman's got him by the fucking balls, right? He's got him by the balls because in February of this year, a former police officer and LDS bishop was arrested by the police and charged with human trafficking. He was a pimp. He was trying to pimp hoes. So the scope of the issue we're looking at is pimps. Pimps. I don't know if Utah has a big problem with pimps compared to California or New York or Chicago, places like that, Baltimore, Philadelphia. I don't know if Utah has the same level of pimping going on. But that's what the guy was popped for. He's a pimp. A couple undercover detective ladies went in. They were detectives. They went in undercover. They got him. He tried to pimp him. Congratulations. The police were doing their jobs. You gonna fucking give them the credit for doing their jobs? No! Obviously, all the police must be pimps. Because some guy who was accused of sexual impropriety, having sex with subordinates on the clock back in 2012, and was given the option of quitting or being fired from the police force, and having not been a police officer for the last 7 years, gets caught pimping. Now every interaction between a police officer and a female must be the police officer pimping. That's fucking retarded. That is fucking retarded. The chain of logic is broken. If you came to me with a reasonable proposition that there are bad cops, I would say abso-fucking-lutely. We know there are bad cops because people like Damon Jones and this cop out of Utah got caught doing shit on the job. Officers get arrested all the time. There are bad cops. That's not earth-shattering. It's proportionality and scale. People say, police are the most corrupt organization on the earth. In this community, they say that, not anywhere else. It's ridiculous. The hyperbole is ridiculous. It's nonsensical. James has a hard-on for the LDS because James got kicked out of the LDS church. Because James is a bad Mormon. James is a bad Mormon. James has a problem with the police because James has a problem with authority. And James has been arrested on multiple occasions in Arizona and in Texas and in California. How's that outstanding warrant going for you, James? You coming to visit California anytime soon? Let me know. I'm not a snitch like Johnny 5-0. I just want to know. I just want to know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.